Hello, and welcome everyone to Networking Expert with LaDonna McAbee and Marla Press. And I am so excited to have Marla here today from Speakers on Fire. And we are going to talk all about speaking, how to speak, why to speak, what to speak about, where to get those speaking gigs. That's the big thing is where do I go to speak? How do I get paid to speak? Do I want to get paid to speak? Or do I want to sell from stage? There's so much to learn when you want to go out and speak. And so many times we find people that just think they can go speak. And it's just not that easy sometimes. What do you think, Marla?
Oh my gosh, it is, it's simple, but it's not easy. That's what I like to say. That's why we need coaches, right? Because there's a lot of pieces to this. And definitely, well, you asked me one question, but I'm just going to go off on this tangent because I like to speak.
That's right.
Yeah, it's amazing because every field is inundated. There's a million health coaches and finance coaches and business coaches and speaker coaches. There's all different kinds of coaches out there. So it's harder and harder to stand out from the crowd and to even get those speaking gigs, those good speaking gigs, not just, be on any old podcast. Not that there's anything wrong with the podcast, but I'm just saying that there's a strategy and skill set in order to get good speeches on good stages where you're going to get good results. Yeah.
Absolutely. And like you said, I asked you one question, but it's hard sometimes to answer one question with one answer when you're talking about such a broad subject as speaking, because there are so many different types of speaking and so much we need to know before getting on that stage, virtually or in person, because you want to be knowledgeable. I think people want to be taught by knowledge people, authentic people. So I'm going to stop there for a second, Marla, and I really want you to introduce yourself. Who is Marla Press and what is she about?
Ooh, I like the way you asked that. Yeah. So, my passion has always been to speak up, to speak your message, to tell the difficult stories, to relate and connect to people. And my passion is to help you speak so people listen. Because there's a lot of people talking out there, but not everybody is listening. And that's really, really important to get to the place where you not only are speaking out there, but that people are listening and inspired and motivated. And so I've developed Speakers on Fire Academy because I want you to get fired up about what you do and to fire up your audience. You have to have that passion, you have to have that confidence, you have to be fired up about what you do, and then you can communicate that to others and they'll pay attention. So there's a lot of pieces to it, as we said, but that's the first step, is to really get fired up. So I have a couple programs. One is a brief 6 weeks where you can really become an amazing speaker by your energy, which is it's 70% of your communication is energy. It's not your words. That's only 7%. So we focus a lot on this energy piece and how to really communicate from this, entertainment place. You want to edutain, as they say, but you also have to know how to connect to people and be authentic and be yourself, but be expanded. And so we work a lot on that. And then we also work on content because you have to have good storytelling. You have to captivate and bring people into your stories. And you have to have an offer that is interesting so people want to take you up on it. So I love that I have developed this comprehensive program for 6 months where we go through the business of speaking and the marketing pieces and the social media pieces, plus how to be a great speaker.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I will say I have taken I have spoken with Marla on several occasions about business and speaking and taken her classes and courses. Amazing. You learn so much. You learn so much more than what you expect. And so much more comes up as you go along in this course that you never thought a million years that you would hit on, because I never realized how deep you really need to go sometimes with speaking and how to connect with people. And everyone connects in a different way,
Yeah,
and you learn so much. And that's why everyone needs a coach, two or three. I mean,
yeah,
it's just the way it
absolutely.
is.
Yeah,
We all need coaches. I don't care how long you've been in the business, what kind of business you're in. You need a coach or two or three. I mean, that's just the way it is. So, Marla,
you can do it on your own, right? But it's going to be so much faster and easier and less stressful if you have a coach. And I've hired a whole bunch of coaches over time. I'm kind of an information junkie. So I've trained in everything. I've trained in marketing. I've been a marketing consultant and a marketing director. I've trained in writing and content. I've trained in social media, all the different platforms, and how to be a great speaker. So there's, we all need that, and we're going to get there faster. And this is important with less stress if we do that. Yeah.
absolutely. And you brought up a good point that you've taken all these classes yourself, and so have I over time. So many classes and hands on experience, and going through it, you learn, and we are always learning. And you know why you continue to want more coaching is because things change. Things are
Yeah.
always changing.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Right. It's like we just getting on this one restream. We're like, well, wait a minute. It wasn't like this last week. It just changed again. So things, yeah, yeah. It's funny because technology absolutely changes. The algorithms on social media absolutely change, but even what audiences want has changed over time.
Yes.
And what
Yes.
used to work, raise your hand, raise your hand, that stuff doesn't work anymore. So there's new ways to engage the audience. And we need to know that. We need to know, what do audiences really want? Because that's what we're there for, right? To
Yes.
inspire the audience, not just to give our information. Yeah.
Right. Because you know what? It's not about us. It's
Yeah.
about them, about that client, that customer, the audience. It's about them. Marla, I want to go a little bit because people want to know. I mean, as even me speaking, sometimes I go, oh, where am I going to get that next great speaking gig? And what is a really great speaking gig? And I know does matter about what you're going to speak about or what
Yeah.
crowd you really want to reach, but go deeper than that. Where have you found the most possibilities when you're looking for speaking gigs? Where do you really reach out to? What is your thought on that?
Yeah, great question. And that seems to come up all the time when I first meet speakers. Is, so, well, even before they want all the skills, they want to know, where can I speak? And the first step is speak wherever you can. I mean, speak like this, speak on social media, do your own live stream on a regular basis, talk for 10 minutes on social media. That's a stage. And you can, if you know how to speak and how to craft an offer from that, a call to action, then that can be so helpful. Number two is networking. So I'm looking at how my arm's going off the screen. Number two is networking. And when you network, that's a speech. It's an opportunity. You can speak for 60 seconds and either impress people and clearly and concisely communicate what you do and what result they're going to get from working with you or not. And so that, especially if you're first starting, but ongoing, those two, you never want to let go of those, and you never want to downplay those. speaking live on social media, and networking groups. And there's some networking groups that have 100 people on the call at a time, and there's some that have 10. So, if you can, you want to search out the ones that have quite a few members. And so you get a lot of exposures. And there's so many I can recommend to people. If you want to give me a call, we can have a chat about that. I can tell you which ones would be a good fit for you and the differences between them. And then number three is you want to do research. So you can hire a company that will give you lists of places to speak, along with sometimes they'll give you the contact person, sometimes just their website, and you have to find the contact person. But you can also do your own research for free. Just Google. So, who's your target audience? Be clear about that. Where do you want to speak locally? Or are you okay speaking around the country? Do you want to speak virtually? Do you want to go in person? And Google these places, and a ton of places will come up because there are thousands of speaking opportunities every day around, well, certainly around the US and, in other countries too. So you definitely want to do that research. And then you want to think about, it depends on where you are in your business. So initially, if you can talk to 5 people, talk to 5 people, right? And just get really good at conveying what your message is and how you can help them. And then eventually, you might want to get paid to speak. But my philosophy is, and my experience working in this industry for so long, is that you'll make a lot more money if you don't get paid to speak initially on the front end, but you either sponsor and pay to speak, or you speak for free and you make an irresistible offer that people will take you up on. And then it might take just a little bit of time, and then you get a ton of clients, which will usually give you a lot more money than getting paid to speak initially. Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that was going to be my next question for you. Because as a speaker, and I have spoken for so many years and then got out of speaking and then got back into speaking. And I remember I was in Germany many years ago when my husband was in the army, and Zig Ziglar came. Everyone knows Zig Ziglar, I hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And spoke in one of our women's community, and there was probably 1,000 of us there, and it was the most amazing thing, and they pick certain people to be able to speak. Well, I was one of them that I was able to speak for free. They paid my way there, my train ride, my hotel, everything, and paid me to speak. But Marla, I have found over time, that's just one example, but
Right.
over time, that has changed. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
so many,
Yeah.
I will reach out and they're not paying, so many are not paying you to speak anymore.
Yeah.
You can pay, I have paid
Yeah.
a little bit of money up to several hundreds of dollars to speak before, but able to sell from stage. And you're right. If you follow up, and I'm going to say that again, if you follow up afterwards, then you're going to make a lot more money than what you would have by getting paid, because when you get paid to speak is usually when they don't want you to pitch from the stage.
Right. Yeah. And, when we were talking about things have changed, it used to be it was a lot easier to, number one, get on stages, and number two, to be able to be paid. But because the coaching industry in particular, coaching and consulting grew by 800% since COVID, because so many people wanted to leave their corporate jobs, leave their working for someone else, liked working at home a lot of the times, and 800% increase in a few years. And because of that, there's still plenty of stages because there's, more people doing summits and more people having stages, but it is a little bit more complex to get on those stages and to find good ones. So that's why, you really need some guidance in how to do that, because it's not the same where, people were, keynoting was a big thing before COVID, and getting paid for that, and even getting paid significantly. But I've paid thousands of dollars to speak on stages. So, and it's worth it. You get one client and it pays for it, right? Yeah. And you get
Right,
exposure, you get
exactly.
impact, you get credibility. So that credibility and visibility is important. Ultimately, we all have to invest in ourselves, invest in our businesses, and then we will blossom.
Absolutely. And I think and I know you feel the same as we, as entrepreneurs, we are better entrepreneurs and more successful if we are more giving. And when I say giving is by, it's okay to recommend something. You just reached out just a few minutes ago and said, if you want to reach out to me, I can give you certain
Yeah,
places to go and speak. You didn't ask for money with
yeah,
that. You're giving
yeah.
that. You're giving. And by being a giver with our kind of business really shows how authentic we are sometimes. We want to help others succeed. We want to help others achieve what they are wanting to achieve. And I know I do it every day. Somebody will call me and say, what do you think of this or that? I don't, you know, don't nickel and dime everyone.
Yes.
Be a helper, be guidance, but then you'll always get in return. And I think it goes the same way with the stage. Yes, most of the time I have to pay to go on stage. And sometimes I'll get it for free, but most of the time I pay to be on stage. And then I get to sell from stage or be a sponsor or something where I can gain that money back, because money in the bank is the reason we do this, right? Money in the bank. That's what we want to see. And we always have to be investing in ourselves and our business. So, Marla, what do you have to offer or say before we leave today?
Well, first of all, I think I just saw my friend Karen Cook show up. And so there's a comment there. She just said, yay. But I just want to
Yay,
acknowledge
Karen.
Karen for showing up here. I know a lot of people are just going to see this on replay, but and I don't know, because I don't know. LaDonna, do you see other comments?
I do not. I don't even see Karen. So I'm sorry. I'm glad you
Oh,
noticed. So thank you.
yeah. I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, hey Karen, we love Karens, but but
Yes.
anyway, yeah. I mean, there's so much to this, and it has gotten more complex. And knowing, you have to have the right content, the right energy and delivery. You have to be able to grab and keep attention. You have to be good on social media, good online, and good in person. They're not the same skills. How do we do that? And how do we really connect with people so that we build trust? Because that's really important. To be a coach, they want to trust us. And so you have to entertain, and then you have to also build trust, and those almost seem like they conflict with each other, that you can't be authentic and entertain at the same time. So there's really a way to balance this, and it's a slightly different balance for every person. But that's what the 6-week program is about, is just focusing on your content to get that first speech or that next speech, because you can be an experienced speaker and get a ton of help from this. It's not just for beginners. But how can you get all of this in just a 6-week program? It's because I don't lecture, and LaDonna can tell you, it's exercises. I get you out of your comfort zone. I do exercises with you that transform you in the session, or we do more of a workshop. If we're just working on your offer or some content, then it's let's work, tweak until we get it so that it's sizzling hot. So that's what the 6-week is about. And you see across the screen there is the place to sign up for. I'm just temporarily offering a 6-week program and temporarily offering a discount on that for people that come to things like this and participate. So you'll also see a little bit about the 6-month on there, but for now, just hop into that 6-week. It's a no-brainer. It's starting soon, and you will come away with everything you need to become a better speaker and get speaking gigs right away. And then if you want more about the marketing and the business and all of that, then we could go further. But this alone is going to change your life. Yeah.
And I will say, when I took Marla's course, I already said that I learned so much more than I expected. I mean, she helps you figure out how to breathe before you start speaking. That was one of my main things that I took away that really made me a better speaker because I was more relaxed and I wasn't preaching to people. I was really getting across to people, but not just preaching at them. And I never even realized I was doing it.
Yes.
That's the funny part. But Marla, this is her expertise, is to teach speakers how to speak better.
Yeah, because you can't just
And no matter,
intellectualize about it, right? If I would have just tried to give you 5 steps, it wouldn't have helped. But you really got to see the difference between talking at people and talking from inside your body where it radiates out and connects better and is more natural and more authentic than almost preaching or just teaching. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so very much, Marla. Thank you for everyone listening in now, or the recording version is fine too. Reach out to Marla. Do not miss this opportunity to get to know her and what she does, and do not miss out on that discount for her course. Thank you so very